It's Ross here, your fancy neighborhood librarian, here to talk about something different today. We're going to talk about the more civilized aspect of skateboarding. Skateboarding etiquette. Cheers. Hey, what up, y'all? Thanks for spending your time with me today. I love talking about skateboarding. It's one of my most favorite things to do, especially now. The weather's great, everybody's out, enjoying themselves. And yeah, today we're going to talk about skateboarding etiquette, and it's going to help you enjoy yourself even more when you're at the skate park, because it's going to help you keep safe and everybody else safe. And when nobody's hurt, everybody's having a great time. So, it's a little more... Skateboarding etiquette's weird because it's kind of like a lot of unspoken rules that you just kind of learn as you go along. So I'm here to help you out, give you most of what you need, and you can kind of figure the rest out yourself. Alright, so etiquette really starts once you get into the park. There's usually you got to find a spot to put all your stuff, right? This is what I usually come with a book, something to eat, good water bottle, keep hydrated. But you can't just leave it anywhere. Generally there will be like a place at the park where it's like a designated area to put all your stuff, and it's easy to figure out, right? Sometimes it's not. Sometimes skaters will just leave their stuff on an obstacle and it's understood that nobody skates it. So if you walk up to something like this at the park and you see like people have left their phone, they got a jacket, water bottle, some soda, other stuff might be here. This is all just lying out. Just assume it's okay to put your stuff there too. Skaters are pretty cool. You're probably not going to get your stuff stolen. But yeah, got to start off on the right foot. After we put our stuff down, we can start stretching and check out the park. Cool, so we're at the park. Well, virtually at least. Here's your fantastic Tiger skate park. Your city has been generous enough to provide for y'all. So yeah, once you get here, we'll see where the entrance is. Here's the entrance, and here's another one here. So yeah, once you figure out a spot you want to leave your stuff, I'd say like this corner right here. We got a little bench. It is a skate obstacle, but it's kind of in an awkward spot, and nobody really skates it, so you can probably leave your stuff there just fine. This corner is another spot that's out of the way. There's no official spot really here to leave your stuff, so just as long as it's out of the way, you should be fine. So, once you put down your things, get a few stretches in. It's a good thing to just kind of survey the park. A good way to do this is just kind of skate the perimeter. And you could do this here at Tiger. Just kind of go around this area. Check out a little fun box here. It gets a little tight around these corners, but just watch out for other people trying to come in the opposite way. Yeah, and when you do this, you're kind of just chilling, just checking out the lay of the land, see what the transitions look like, see how deep the bowls are. Maybe you want to visualize some tricks you can do later on. But yeah, you got a good idea of where everything is, who's skating what. I'd say it's time to skate. So the reason I'm showing you the skate park here is that the part of skating etiquette is having a good knowledge of the layout of the park. Because this affects your ability to visualize the different sort of lines or the different ways you can skate the park. You'll hear skaters use this term lines in a variety of ways. It can be used to describe a series of tricks you do in a row and you land all of them. But when you're in a park, a lot of skaters talk about lines in terms of the paths, the different amounts of paths you can take around the park. So depending on your mode of skateboarding, how you want to skate the park, there are sort of different rules of etiquette apply to how you choose to do your plan of attack here, how you choose to shred. So let's go over those really quickly. If you want to skate the whole park, you kind of like want to have a really good flow, hit all the obstacles. You can do that. You just need to make sure that nobody's skating the obstacle that you want to hit. So let's say you could skate around here. Oh, I want to drop in here. If you want to drop in here into this little quarter pipe, you need to make absolutely sure there's nobody in this bowl, because if somebody's skating this bowl and you're not, it's their turn, and you don't want to interrupt their turn. So if you see somebody skating, just kind of keep skating around. But if you don't, feel free to drop in. So you can drop in, hit this. Oh, cool, there's a little spine right here. These two bowls connect. You want to hit into the next bowl. Got to make sure nobody's skating that either. So this all starts when you're right here. You can kind of take a quick view of everything and just kind of plan your line based on that. And it doesn't take a whole lot of time to get from point A to point B, so you can do this pretty quickly. So let's say you want to go here, come around here, hit the fun box. Again, each obstacle you hit, you want to make sure nobody's going to skate it. So if somebody looks like they're going to, or if you see that there's a sequence of skaters skating something, you're going to want to defer to whatever's happening at that time, because it's not your turn if you're trying to skate the whole park. So let's go ahead and erase this, and I'll show you how to skate just single obstacles if you want to do that. So let's say you don't want to skate the whole park, you're really feeling like this portion over here. It's kind of like a little hubba, we call it, a little kind of like a handrail type thing. So you're probably going to like set up like around this area right here. So you want to make sure you're out of everybody's way at first. You want to be enough distance away from this coping to where if people want to do tricks on this coping, they're not going to hit you. And once you're ready to do a trick, you want to look left, right, forward, behind, and make sure nobody's skating this bowl right here, because you're going to land right in this area. So you need to take into account everybody trying to skate obstacles around you. It sounds a lot harder than it is. It's really all about self-preservation and making sure you don't get hurt and run into people. And if you do, everybody's cool. Usually it's not too bad. All right, my dudes, so body language. Just saw some sweet moves I did right there. This is probably the most important part of skate etiquette, because this is the way we process information and figure out how we're going to skate the park based on what other people are doing. And so that's essentially the idea. We want to stay out of each other's way in order to have a good time. So how we do that is read our body language and where our eyes are going. Each time you do this at every park you go to, it's going to be a little different. So it's essentially a personal judgment call on your part, but I'll give you a couple of things to look out for that a lot of skaters do involuntarily. So we'll separate this out into the same two sections we've been talking about. So if you're skating the entire park, and if you're just skating one obstacle. So let's start with skating the entire park. So I'm just going to be on my skateboard. I'm already skating. I'm not waiting for anybody to go. So if I'm skating around the park, kind of looking at nothing really in particular, maybe I seem like I'm trying to get my breath, my arm is on my hip, I'm probably just kind of like catching my breath skating around the park. So if I'm in your way, just wait for me to get out of the way and go on your way to skate the obstacle. If I'm skating, I'm kind of bent down, I got my eyes intensely focused on one point. Look to where I'm looking, and you'll probably see what I want to skate. And so if somebody's already like this and you're trying to skate the same thing, best thing is just let them go, do the thing, and follow them up once you get a good moment of opportunity to go. So the second portion is when you're standing waiting to like hit an obstacle that people are skating all at once. So there's a sequence of people going, people are taking their turns. If board's on my side, kind of standing like I did earlier, akimbo, might be like talking to my friends over here, not really intent on doing anything. If I look like this, I'm probably not going to go skate the obstacle, so if it's your turn, you can go ahead. Another way people kind of relax is just putting their board down like that. But since people don't skate this way, with your torso going forward, people skate like this. If I'm holding my board like this, I'm probably not going to go. But I'm probably going to go if I'm faced this way, kind of like I'm looking at it and figuring out what I want to do. So you want to pay attention to how my body is facing the obstacle and kind of where my eyes are going as well. So if I'm like this, I might go. Probably want to just let me be. Same thing if I'm like kind of bent over, focusing on an obstacle. I might just be kind of like figuring out what I want to do and really quickly jump down. So you just kind of want to gauge the amount of, the level of relaxation that you can read in somebody. And if they're tense and it looks like they're going to do something, just kind of defer to their path and go right after them. Alright, my friends, so I just wanted to cover one last thing before I go. You may have been thinking, this is great, you know, I know what to do when I'm skating. What happens when I'm not skating? What happens when I fall? So there are a couple considerations to make. If you fall and your skateboard is nearby you or tangled up in your legs or something, don't worry about doing anything other than getting up as quick as you can and getting out of the way of anybody else who might want to skate what you were trying to skate. The second situation is if you fall and your board shoots out from under you and you got like a runaway board, you can't grab it. This is what you have to do. Board! That's right, you gotta yell out, board! This lets everybody else in the park know to keep their eye out for a runaway board and to stop it if it's coming towards them. Or to get out of its way if it's coming too fast. You know, that can be a really dangerous thing. The nose right here is like about ankle height, so you don't know what's coming. It could really injure you pretty poorly. So, yeah, so that's what you do if you fall. If you hear it, just be on the lookout and the board comes to you. You can either kick it back to the skater if they're close enough, or just pick it up and give it back to them. Everybody's really nice and understands that falling is all part of the game, so don't be embarrassed, and it's just another step on to getting better. So yeah, get out there, be safe, shred the gnar, and have a lot of fun. All right, take care.